On the evening of June 14th, the quiet town of Silver Pine Valley turned into the center of a chilling mystery. Just after 7:22 p.m., 24-year-old Lena Hartley, a college student with a bright future and a seemingly happy relationship, was reported missing by her boyfriend, Tyler Brent, after he received a terrifying text message from her phone. "I need help. Someone is following me." Minutes later, Lena's phone went dead. Her car was found abandoned near the forest line. The driver's door wide open, her purse untouched, and her keys still in the ignition. No Lena, no footprints, no sign of struggle. It was as if she had simply disappeared. Lena Hartley grew up in Silver Pine, a small rural town with a population under 9,000. She was known as quiet, creative, a straight-A student, deeply attached to her boyfriend Tyler, and often described as shy but kind. Her social circle was small. Her life was simple. Nothing suggested a young woman capable of deception until the night she vanished. Interview, friend Jenna Myers. She wasn't the type to run away. She hated conflict. If she said she was scared, we believed her. Interview, boyfriend Tyler Brent. We had an argument that day. Nothing serious. Just something small. I never thought she'd end up missing. Tyler's voice cracks. Within hours of Lena's disappearance, the Silver Pine Police Department launched a ground search, drone sweeps, K-9 units, and a public alert. By midnight, Lena's story had already spread across social media. Hashtag Find Lena Hartley. But as the hours passed and no evidence emerged, investigators wondered if the case was what it appeared to be, or something far more complicated. By the second morning of Lena Hartley's disappearance, search teams had covered a 12-mile radius around the forest where her car was found. But investigators noticed something unsettling. There were no footprints. Not Lena's, not a potential attacker's, not even disturbed vegetation. The scene was too clean. And for detectives, too clean is often the first sign of a staged crime. At 10:43 a.m., digital forensics analyst detective Elise Porter reviewed Lena's final text. "I need help. Someone is following me." It sounded urgent, emotional, but something wasn't right. The text had been sent using predicted typing, not Lena's usual typing pattern. Lena typically typed fast, with shortened words and lowercase sentences, but this message was perfectly punctuated, grammatically correct, and written slower than her normal typing speed. Even stranger, the phone's GPS history showed no signs of running, sudden turns, or erratic movement. Lena's car had driven in a straight line to the exact drop-off point, with no detours. Interviewed Detective Porter. When someone thinks they're being followed, there's usually panic behaviors. Speeding, wrong turns, braking patterns. Her route was calm, almost pre-planned. At noon, a hiker named Daniel Creek contacted police. He claimed he heard a scream near the forest the night Lena disappeared. It seemed like a breakthrough until investigators checked the timestamp on his smartwatch. He wasn't even near the forest that night. He confused the date. A dead end. Tyler Brent was brought in for a formal interview. He appeared distraught, cooperative, willing to help. But detectives couldn't ignore a critical detail. Tyler had texted Lena 14 minutes before her final message. He confronted her about their argument earlier that day. Tyler admitted, "I told her she wasn't paying attention to the relationship. I said she was distant. I said maybe she didn't care anymore." Detectives noted his regret, but they also noted his alibi. He had been at a work dinner with 11 witnesses. He wasn't a suspect, but he was a pressure point. Crime scene techs dusted Lena's abandoned car. Inside, Lena's fingerprints, Tyler's fingerprints, and one partial print that didn't match anyone. But here's the issue. The partial print was on the inside of the trunk. Investigators wondered, why would Lena's kidnapper open the trunk? To hide her? To move her? But there were no signs of struggle inside the trunk. No fibers. No blood. Nothing. Detective Porter said it plainly. If Lena was abducted, the kidnapper left no trace. That almost never happens. Later that evening, detectives got a ping from Lena's bank. Her credit card had been used at a gas station 40 minutes away, and what the camera revealed shocked investigators. Security footage showed a woman matching Lena's build, wearing a hoodie, paying for snacks, alone, calm, not kidnapped. She didn't look scared. She didn't ask for help. She didn't signal distress. Detectives rewound the footage. Same conclusion. Lena Hartley was alive, and she wasn't being held captive. At this moment, police realized something crucial. Lena Hartley wasn't taken. She was hiding, in plain sight. But why would a young woman with no history of instability fake her own kidnapping? Investigators were about to uncover a truth darker than they expected. Because Lena wasn't running from a kidnapper. She was running from something else. Something much closer. Once detectives realized Lena Hartley wasn't kidnapped, the case took a sharp and disturbing turn. Because finding a missing woman is one thing, but finding someone who doesn't want to be found, that's an entirely different challenge. And Lena? She had vanished with precision, almost like she'd been planning this for months. At 8:42 p.m., detectives froze the security footage on the woman in the hoodie. She moved like Lena. She walked like Lena. Same height, same build. Even the shape of her jaw under the hood matched. But something in the footage bothered Detective Porter. The woman didn't look rushed, didn't look nervous. She wasn't checking over her shoulder. She looked comfortable, almost relieved. Porter leaned closer and noticed a detail. The woman had paint on her fingers. Lena was an art student. She constantly had paint on her hands. Porter whispered, "She's not kidnapped. She's on the move." Lena's phone had been found smashed near her abandoned car, but tech experts discovered the SIM card was removed. The motherboard had been deliberately cracked, and the damage was done with a tool, not force. Someone didn't want the phone tracked, but they did want it found. Because a smashed phone screams, "I was attacked." Detective Porter knew exactly what that meant. This wasn't a crime scene. This was a prop. Detectives built Lena's movements hour by hour. 6:20 p.m. Lena leaves home after arguing with Tyler. 7:03 p.m. Her car is seen driving toward the forest. 7:29 p.m. Car shuts off. Lights turn off. No more movement. 7:43 p.m. Smashed phone found beside driver's door. 8:12 p.m. Search begins. But then, 10:44 p.m. Her credit card is used at a gas station 40 minutes away. Meaning, she left the forest long before police arrived. The fingerprint found in the trunk? Detectives got the match. It belonged to a car dealership employee who serviced Lena's vehicle 2 months earlier. It had nothing to do with the case. Detective Porter exhaled sharply. All the dramatic clues were falling apart, one by one. At 11:23 p.m., detectives got footage from a strip mall near the gas station. And there she was, Lena, wearing the same hoodie, carrying a backpack, walking toward a bus stop. She got on a Greyhound bus traveling west. But she didn't traveling alone. Behind her, entering the same bus, was a man wearing a dark cap and sunglasses. He kept his distance, but he was clearly following her. Detective Porter leaned closer. The man wasn't a stalker. He wasn't approaching her. He wasn't watching her secretly. He was letting her lead, almost like she had invited him. Detectives subpoenaed the ticket purchase records. Lena had bought a ticket under her own name 2 days before her disappearance. Meaning, she planned this. She intended to leave Tyler, leave her family, leave her life. But that wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part was she also bought a second ticket, paid in cash, under a fake name, for the man behind her. The mystery man wasn't chasing Lena. He was meeting her. At this point, detectives understood something critical. Lena didn't vanish out of fear. She vanished out of desperation. But why would a woman with a good job, loving parents, a stable boyfriend, and a normal life stage her own disappearance? Detective Porter found the answer in Lena's laptop. Hidden inside an encrypted folder was a one-sentence note. "Nobody listens when I speak, but they'll listen when I'm gone." Detectives stared at it in silence. This wasn't a kidnapping. This was a message, a cry for validation. Control, attention, escape, and the man on the Greyhound bus? He was the one helping her do it. But who was he? And why was Lena willing to burn her life down for him? By now, detectives had enough evidence to prove Lena Hartley staged her own kidnapping. But they still didn't understand the most important question. Why? Why would a woman with a promising future, a stable home, a devoted boyfriend, and no history of trauma suddenly abandon everything and vanish with a stranger? Detective Porter was determined to find out. Investigators ran every frame of the Greyhound footage. Facial recognition finally delivered a name. Jesse Rowe, age 34. No criminal record. No fixed address. Former paramedic. Quit his job 6 months earlier. Recently sold his car. Known for disappearing for long stretches. To Detective Porter, Jesse was a ghost. Not dangerous, but clearly running from something too. The question was, did Lena run to him or because of him? Lena's primary laptop held nothing incriminating, but forensic sweep uncovered a second user profile hidden under a decoy admin name. Inside was an email account created 3 months earlier. Detectives spent hours combing through the inbox. That's when they found it. A subject line that changed everything. "I can't breathe here." It was from Lena, and the reply was from Jesse. "Then stop trying to. Leave the life that's killing you." Detective Porter froze. This wasn't a romance. Wasn't blackmail. Wasn't manipulation. This was a psychological bond formed in secrecy. An emotional escape hatch. A digital confession booth. Every email between them reflected the same pattern. "Jesse, you're living someone else's story." "Lena, I feel like I'm drowning in a life that doesn't belong to me." "Jesse, then write a new one." "Lena, I don't know how." "Jesse, I'll show you." The messages started friendly, almost supportive. But slowly, Jesse's tone changed. More radical, more emotional, more controlling. He began painting her life as a prison. "You're too good for the small life you settle for. Everyone around you suffocates you. No one sees you the way I do. You're wasting yourself." Lena responded like someone starved for validation. Every message showed her slipping further from her real world and deeper into Jesse's. And then came the message that sealed everything. "Let's disappear together." Detectives found a hidden folder inside Lena's email drafts. Each file was named with emojis to avoid detection. Fire meant destroy old life. Automobile meant abandoned car. No mobile phones meant break phone. Build cat meant disguise. Bus meant bus route west. Mountain meant mountains. Evergreen tree meant final location. This wasn't impulsive. This was a roadmap to vanish. And Jesse had orchestrated every step. Porter gathered the evidence on the board. Everything pointed to one truth. Lena Hartley wasn't running from danger. She was running toward reinvention. Toward a life where nobody judged her. Nobody criticized her. Nobody expected anything from her. Nobody knew her history. Nobody compared her to siblings, co-workers, or friends. But the most disturbing realization? She didn't want a new life alone. She wanted Jesse's. Because Jesse didn't just validate her. He rewrote her worldview. He told her she wasn't broken, just misplaced. He convinced her that the life she had wasn't hers at all. And he sold her a dream. We'll build a life when no one owns us. Detectives dug deeper into Jesse Rowe's past. 6 years ago, he checked into a psychiatric facility after a traumatic on-duty incident. He wasn't violent. He wasn't psychotic. But he developed one troubling belief. Society is a cage. Real freedom comes only from wiping your identity clean. Porter sat back in her chair. That was the missing puzzle piece. Jesse wasn't running from the law. He was running from the weight of existence. And he wanted Lena to follow him, not as a hostage, not as a lover, but as a disciple, a partner in escape, a co-author in erasing themselves. Detective Porter slammed her marker down. Lena didn't fake a kidnapping. She faked a rebirth. Lena's true motive wasn't money or drama or revenge or abuse or fear. It was something far more tragic. She couldn't handle being herself anymore, so she chose to become no one. And Jesse? He was her guide into oblivion. Lena Hartley had vanished. Not kidnapped, not taken. She had evaporated with precision, like someone rehearsing the act for months. But even the smartest disappearances leave fingerprints on reality, and Detective Porter was about to find them. An officer reviewing discarded evidence found something odd. A crumpled receipt, printed 45 minutes after Lena supposedly vanished, discarded a few feet from where her abandoned car was found. The purchase? 2 bottles of water, a pack of gum, and a prepaid burner phone, paid in cash. Timestamp, 11:58 p.m. Security footage? A CCTV camera pointed right at the pumps. And there she was. Lena, hood up, head down. No signs of distress. No one following her. She bought the phone, walked off camera, and disappeared into the darkness. Detective Porter exhaled. She planned this. She's still alive. Detectives rewound the Greyhound station video again. Everyone had focused on Lena boarding the bus. But Porter noticed something no one else had. Who was already on the bus? Seat 14B. A man wearing a cap, dark hoodie, face turned away, freeze frame, zoom, enhance. There, a barely visible tattoo on his wrist, a twin spiral, matching Jesse Rowe, meaning Lena didn't vanish randomly. She boarded a bus where Jesse was already waiting. She left with him, by choice. Though Lena and Jesse used cash, the police pulled passive digital markers, cell towers, traffic cams, Wi-Fi pings, highway sensors, license plate readers, weather radar timestamps. A pattern emerged. The bus they boarded made an unscheduled stop at a small mountain town, Red Creek Ridge. Population, 412. 1 motel, 1 diner, 1 gas station, 1,000 acres of wilderness. And just outside town, a private cabin Jesse Rowe once inherited, built by his grandfather, never sold, never taxed, never registered online. A perfect hideout. Detective Porter had her destination. Federal agents surrounded the cabin at dawn. Silence. No smoke in chimney. No movement. No sound. On Porter's signal. Boom! Door breached. Agents swarmed in. Clear. 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 The place was completely empty, but not abandoned. On the kitchen counter, open cans, 2 mugs, 2 toothbrushes, 1 half-eaten apple, a paperback novel still warm from the sun, a cracked burner phone, and a handwritten note. Stop looking for us. We don't want to be found. Jesse's handwriting, Lena's signature underneath. Porter clenched her jaw. Then why leave the note? Something felt staged, purposeful, like breadcrumbs. Search teams spread through the surrounding forest. Hours passed. Then a ranger called out. We got prints. 2 sets of footprints. 1 large, Jesse. 1 smaller, Lena. Perfectly parallel. They walked into the woods together, but a quarter-mile in, a split. Jesse's tracks veered left. Lena's veered right. Detective Porter frowned. They separated. Ortiz examined the prints. Ortiz! Looks like a struggle. Her tracks get staggered here. But Porter shook her head. No. Look closer. She wasn't dragged. She was running. Ortiz stiffened. From him, Porter didn't answer, because a terrifying possibility emerged. Lena didn't simply vanish with Jesse. She escaped from him. 50 yards deeper, a patch of dry blood stained a jagged rock. DNA confirmed it. Jesse Rowe. A trail of droplets led further into the woods, but stopped at a small clearing, as if the bleeding person simply vanished into the air. Pierce pointed toward the ravine. He could have fallen. Porter shook her head. No body. No drag marks. He walked out. Somehow, Ortiz swallowed. Then where's Lena? Wildlife cameras in the forest were pulled. 1 camera caught something at 2:46 a.m. 2 figures moving through the trees. The image was grainy, but clear enough. Jesse Rowe in front, Lena behind him. He was guiding her, not dragging her, not forcing her, but holding her hand. Her expression? Blank, exhausted, detached. Porter exhaled sharply. She wasn't kidnapped. She wasn't escaping. She was following. Hours later, a drone spotted smoke rising from a second cabin. Hidden in a canyon beyond the forest ridge, agents approached carefully. Inside, no Jesse, no Lena, but on a dusty table lay a camera, a tripod, a folded map, and a notebook titled The New Life DOC. Porter opened the notebook slowly. Inside, Lena's handwriting, pages filled with plans to reinvent herself. New name, new appearance, new identity, and one chilling sentence underlined. I finally feel free. Ortiz rubbed his face. She never planned to come back. Porter stared at the next page. A single line, a confession, a betrayal, a truth that changed everything. He said the only way to let go of my old life was to destroy every part of it. Porter whispered, "Destroy or bury?" A forestry worker radioed in. They had found something. A male body leaning against a tree, face peaceful, eyes closed. Cause of death: suicide by medication overdose. ID confirmed. Jesse Rowe. Next to him, a note written in Lena's handwriting. I forgive you. Thank you for helping me disappear. Never found. Not alive. Not dead. Not anywhere. Detective Porter stared at the final evidence. Lena had walked away from Jesse. She had written the note herself, and she vanished into the wilderness with nothing but a backpack, leaving behind every clue intentionally, every breadcrumb arranged, every trail curated. She didn't fake a kidnapping. She authored a disappearance. Porter whispered the final truth. Lena Hartley didn't escape her life. She escaped herself.